Mayor Mamdami, I give you a year. You are not a New Yorker. You have no clue. I don't consider you to be my mayor.
I think it's disgraceful for what he's doing. He's got to be fair to everybody, and he's not fair to everybody. He's not fair to the Jewish people, which he makes everybody notice he's not fair to the Jewish people. He's not fair to the Irish people, and now he hates the Italians. For what reason?
I don't know what's going on in New York City, but the mayor's office and his administration put out a new map, New York City immigrant enclaves. And they've got 30 of them listed. 30 of them listed, including Little Africa in the Bronx, Little Albania, Little Bangladesh, Little Tibet, Little Caribbean, Little Colombia, Little DR, Little Ecuador. Say that with style. Little Ecuador, Little Egypt. I saw her dance once. Little Guyana, 2 Little Guyanas. Queens and the Bronx, Little Haiti, Little India, Little Manila. Little Odessa, Little Palestine, Little Pakistan, Little Poland, Little Senegal, Little Ukraine, and Little Yemen. However, conspicuously left off the map is the granddaddy of them all, Little Italy. And right next door, right across Canal Street, Chinatown. Chinatown made it, Tom. Chinatown made it, but not Little Italy. How's that possible? Where are the ethnic enclaves of the Irish, Tom, who built the city, basically?
We had nothing. We're moved out.
Where are the Swedes? Where were the Germans? Where were the Dutch?
Where are the Dutch?
That's their place. All right, my man on the scene is Andre DiMino, defender of the faith. He's with the Italian-American One Voice Coalition. We have him on periodically to speak to issues just like this. Good morning, Andre DiMino. Welcome back to WPRO.
Thanks, Gene, and my gosh, what an insult from this mayor.
What do you make of it? Deliberate? What is it? A rewriting of history or an oversight, a work in progress, as his office says?
Nah, let's not sugarcoat this. You got to remember that he posted that picture of giving the finger to the Columbus statue with an F-word expletive. So we know what he's doing. And to leave out Little Italy, you know, my mother's family came from Sicily. They landed on Mott Street in Little Italy. There's such history there. And Little Italy is still an ongoing place right now. In fact, the new beautiful Italian-American Museum opened recently there, the beautiful restaurants, and it's such an attraction for people to go down there. So what's he going to do next? Is he not going to issue the permits for the San Gennaro Festival? Is he going to cancel the Columbus Day Parade? Come on, Gene, this is deliberate.
All right, well, you're right about Columbus. I remember that. He jumped right on the bandwagon. But it's almost egregious. How could you put together New York City immigrant enclaves and leave off any reference of the Italians, the Irish, the Jewish community, Lower East Side, nothing. Canal Street, Delancey Street, all those streets, nothing.
How convenient. I mean, really, it's just amazing. First of all, Little Yemen, I mean, I've lived here a long time. No one's ever said, I'm going to see you down in Little Yemen. And all those other ones that he noted, it's just a total disgrace. And listen, it's deliberate. Candidly, I don't know how Little Poland got on there because it seems like he eliminated all kinds of Europeans. But Poland did make it on there. But certainly, you know, Jewish, Irish, and Italian, it's just a total insult and a disgrace.
Little Odessa, that's the Brighton Beach. There is a Russian section. That's legit. Many restaurants over there. My producer, Tom, is from Staten Island. He's never heard of Little Africa.
Never heard of it.
Little Guyana. Tom, what section of Little Guyana?
I couldn't even tell you.
never heard of it. All right. So, Andre, what's going on? I mean, is there any way we could give the mayor, what if he says something like this? Well, Gene, look, Little Italy, yes. Italian restaurants, but the Italians left a long time ago. They may be the landlords, but that's been all gentrified. So that's why I didn't put it on the map. You would say what?
Well, I'd say, yeah, but it's still part of the history of New York, part of the history of this country. So many people carve their roots in that area, and just to absolutely just ignore it totally. And it's still known as Little Italy. People know that all over the place. When they come to this part of the United States, you know, they want to visit Little Italy. It shouldn't have been left off. You know, the mayor should apologize. He should come out. But listen, I'm not going to hold my breath. That's not going to happen.
You've often said that some ethnic groups appear to be softer targets than others, that you wouldn't do this to this fill in the blank. You wouldn't do this to this, but you'll do it to the Italians. Why?
Absolutely correct. And I think it's because of going back in our history, we wanted to be so assimilated. You know, even my family, they were concerned about me speaking Italian out of the house and so forth because they were proud Americans. So I think just generally Italian Americans have just kind of stayed in the background. But, you know, at the Italian American One Voice Coalition, we don't do that. You know, we fight for these things, and we've already launched emails to the mayor's office. We've actually gotten a couple of people that are on the council there and they've issued a statement saying it was a disgrace. So, at Italian American One Voice, we're not sitting back. And yes, we're proud Americans, Italian Americans. We honor our heritage, but we don't sit back. We've got to stop these things because otherwise it just keeps on happening and actually expanding.
Well, listen, you and I have had you on several times. This goes back to the reality shows.
Sure.
Real Housewives of New Jersey certainly doesn't help it. And
No.
the Jersey Shore. And, we got our own thing up here, Andre. We've got the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
And
unfortunately, they play into the stereotypes. There are some Italian Americans that are our worst enemies as well, that are the mob wannabes and so forth, that perpetuate and constantly keep that stereotype going. And they've got to stop it. Italians and Italian Americans have contributed so much to this country and the world. We shouldn't be defined by these lousy stereotypes that are out there.
Well, do you see any kind of a joining in? Now, the Irish were left out. How do you leave the Irish out of New York? I don't understand that.
It's ridiculous.
How do you leave the Jewish community out of New York?
Correct.
How do you do that? Is there going to, you talking to these other groups, are you going to do anything, or you got to live with it? It's a new day in New York.
Well, listen, I don't know how much is going to change because I think this mayor has set his tone for his whole administration. But nevertheless, we're just not going to sit back, and we've made outreaches. We've recently made a connection and an unprecedented alliance with Native Americans. So we are reaching out to the Hibernia Association and others because at this time it's not just Italian Americans, but yes, they've left off a lot of other people like the Irish and like the Jewish. So we got to stick together. They try to divide us, but we've got to unify to fight these things.
Well, listen, he's going to come for Columbus Day. You know that. He's going to come for the statue. He's going to come for the Columbus Circle. He's going to come for that. Are you prepared for that?
Obviously we've got our groups together. There's a lot of Italian American groups that are in New York, and some of them are very strong with the political side of things. Yeah. So let's just hope that he doesn't interfere with it. Last year we didn't have the parade because of the terrible weather, right. But certainly this year we want to make sure that the parade goes off.
What's your alliance with Native Americans? Because that appears to be the root cause. And Native Americans says Columbus treated us awful, horrible, made us sick, and everything else. What is this? What? Tell me about that. It intrigues me.
Oh yeah, no, it's an unprecedented alliance. We started actually back in 2024 because they're trying to change. They have changed Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. So we made an outreach to the Native American Guardians Association, which is a nationwide nonprofit for Native Americans, and they don't believe in switching Columbus Day. They want their own day. Don't take it away from. And they're also preserving their things like the name of the chiefs and the Indians and the Redskins. Yeah. So we found a good connection between us where they're supporting us in defending Columbus Day, and we're supporting them in bringing back and honoring their imagery and names. So it's been a great alliance, and we're looking for more groups to join with us.
That's such a salient point, that the argument of whether how the Native Americans feel that history has treated them, or the merits of arguing Columbus's impact upon the New World, they deserve their own holiday, not a swap out. Exactly. Not a hijacked holiday. The Native Americans absolutely deserve their own day. The federal holiday, make it, honestly.
Absolutely. And we want to celebrate right along with them, and they're celebrate with us. In fact, because of this alliance, we actually had a large group of Native Americans that marched in last year's Chicago Columbus Day Parade, and we're looking for more and more connections and unifying and not division.
It's interesting. I just got back from Italy. I was there about a month ago, and I went to the Last Supper in Milan. And the guide was fantastic. He's giving me the history of Da Vinci, and he's saying, well, Da Vinci, and he liked young boys. He was, by our standards, he would be a pedophile. And he's going on and on. I'm saying this when you turn the telescope and look back with the perspective of today magnified on times past, he would be canceled. Well, go try cancel Da Vinci in Italy. See how far you get. He would legitimately be canceled if you apply modern standards to Da Vinci and how he behaved with his young help of the apprentices. Absolutely fascinating. And that's what we've done here. We've turned the telescope the wrong way, looking back at Columbus and applying modern day standards to a man of the 15th century. Go ahead, take the last word, Andre.
No, absolutely. In fact, when you do that with anybody, they even do that with our founding fathers. They're talking about slavery and so forth. That was the world back then, and the whole world has evolved so much, you can't turn that telescope back and look like that. That's ridiculous.
Andre, where do if people want to get involved with your organization, Italian American One Voice Coalition? Where do you want them to go?
The best way, go to our website, which is our initials, IAOVC.org. Get involved with us. Meet with the Native Americans. We meet with them monthly, so join with us at IAOVC.org.
All right, Andre, talk to you soon. Now, keep me up to date if anything pops down there.
Absolutely, Gene. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andre DiMino.